Racing Podcast. It's the ultimate ride where the rubber meets the road and the spots fly wide. From wrecks and wins to what's going online, we cover it all every moment in time. Fights in the pits or a hero's last stand. If it happened at the track, you'll hear it firsthand. Tune in and buckle up tight, cause the Bench Racing Podcast is your fun night.
Thank you for tuning into the Bench Racing Podcast presented by Beth Szerzynski, Michael Olson, and myself, Derek Crane, where the talk is fast, the drama is real, and it's all about the local race scene. Proudly sponsored by North Central Emergency Services, DirtX Industries, and Sprecher's Brewery. So start your engine, boys and girls. It is showtime, and man, we are going to make a show out of this. Not a lot of racing this weekend because it was so hot. So we'll just start off with Beth. How was your weekend?
It was hot.
Hot?
Very hot. Air conditioning would have been really nice, but is what it is.
Yep. And you did race, right? You did go racing.
Something like that.
Something like that?
That wasn't that fun. Hurt my wrist, but I survived.
Yes. Live to ride another day. Again, where were you racing again? I forgot. In Indiana, right?
Yeah, the Badlands.
The Badlands. Okay, nice. Michael, how was your weekend?
Very, very relaxing. I think I went outside for a total of maybe 15 minutes this weekend. So yeah, that was nice. Really soaked up the AC. I didn't miss a single lap of any night of Huset's from Wednesday all the way through Saturday. I saw every single lap of every night. And yeah, shout out to Bill Baylog. You're a G.
So yeah, his worst finish over the 4 days was
seventh.
Not bad.
I think the only reason that he finished that low on Wednesday was because he had to start on the bottom. And if you watch the original start, everybody went backwards. But then he drove back around Gravel and Larson. That just made a bad move in traffic, and that set him back. And I mean, all weekend long, you saw Dirty Air was huge this weekend there. I think every time you watch the race on the track, Dirty Air played a factor in it. And but yeah, the rest of the weekend was pretty astonishing. I was pretty happy for him, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. Not bad for a worn out engine, right?
Yeah, and then the other worn out engine the rest of the weekend.
Yeah. Oh man, Bill Baylog holding the pride of Wisconsin on his shoulders, that's for sure. My weekend was great. Stayed inside. Was gonna go to a car show Saturday morning with Landon because I was on dad duty because I actually was shooting a wedding, and was going to do that in the morning and then head over to Nathan's crew guy's daughter's graduation and birthday party in Burlington. Stepped outside at 8:30 and said, nope, not doing that. If it's 8:30 and it's already this hot, I'm staying inside. So I stayed inside all day with Landon. I did go out to the garage a few times to do some minor stuff on the car, and I was out there for like 10 minutes just soaking wet. And I'm like, yeah, nope, going back inside. So, yeah. So it was extremely hot, which is a good segue into our first topic here, which is the heat wave cancellation at Wilmot Raceway, which they did cancel Friday about midday, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around there, for Saturday. And of course, I saw some opinions on Facebook, and of course, great, because it's always positive. So here's one that I actually screenshotted. I'm not going to name names, not going to do that. But this individual said, I've been around Wilmot Raceway for over 40 years, and I've raced there for 27. Not once have they ever canceled a Saturday night show because it was too hot out. Summer is way too short for the local guys the way it is. Just my opinion. And then someone commented on that and said, can't keep losing money every week with the special people running it. You can only bleed. And at that point, I was just like, okay. But what are your guys' opinion on the Saturday cancellation because of it's too hot? We'll start
So
with Michael.
I saw that post. I know who posted it, and um, well, first off, it's not 100% true because I believe it was just last year or the year before that we had a cancellation because it was too hot.
Mhm.
So it's not like it's new, um, but I'm 100% in agreement with it. I think it was the correct decision. It's not safe for the drivers, not safe for the track officials, and it's not safe for the people sitting in the stands. I also saw a couple uh, comments and posts saying something along the lines of it was too hot for racing, but it wasn't too hot for a rodeo. There's a big
Mhm.
difference there. The rodeo, that it's not the Wilmot rodeo; it was the Rice rodeo. It wasn't Wilmot or the Fair Board's decision to keep the rodeo going or cancel that as well. It was the promoter of the rodeo.
Mhm.
Wilmot was just the host of it. So, I mean, to anybody that wants to use that um, as a comparison, I'll just straight up tell you to your face, behind your back, however you want me to, that you're wrong. And
Mhm.
anybody with a little bit of common knowledge should know that. But all in all, yeah, I think it was the right decision. I personally, I don't, even if they didn't cancel, I debated for a couple days of do I go to Wilmot or do I just stay at home and watch Husitz? And ultimately, I decided that regardless, I wasn't going just because, quite frankly, I don't want to sit out at 11 o'clock at night sweating my balls off. So
Yeah.
I,
Yeah. On the Bench Racing Podcast Facebook page here, we did put out a poll. Got 20 votes, and 19 of them say right decision for Wilmot to cancel, and one vote for wrongo. And Beth, are you part of the 19 or part of the one?
I'm part of the 19.
19. Okay. Okay. Um, what's your opinion on it?
I think that it was really smart to cancel. I was up at Plymouth on Saturday, and it was really hot up there, and it was really scary seeing how some of the drivers were after the features. Um, Not going to name names, but a couple of drivers almost passed out. So it was just a really big safety concern for the drivers. And I think it would have been smart to cancel Plymouth too.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. Cancel. And that's a whole other thing too, because like Wilmot was just going to be like a family night of racing. Plymouth was the Road America Challenge where they had the 410s, the Wisconsin wingless, and the 360s, and of course that's in sanction with Road America right down the road. So of course people are going to come from Road America to Plymouth to watch at night. So it's a little bit of different of a situation there. But I guess I am the minority here, and I'm with the one. I mean, I get why they canceled, and if we're gonna look at it from a fan standpoint, I can back that up. Like if it's for the fans, making sure that they don't pass out, because I've been in the stands in Wilmot, and there's a lot of people that take hydration very seriously. Sarcasm there. No, they are drinking beer, like drinking cases. So I get with the heat that'd be a very bad situation. So I can support that, but if we're gonna be talking about the racers, I mean, at that point, just give the driver the option if he wants to race or not. Um, Racing's dangerous already, and if we want to make a metaphor here, like what's better, flag football or the NFL? Like, obviously it's the NFL, but flag football is way safer. Um, I do think that racing is starting to go a little soft. Um, just I mean, safety and all that. Like, I would love to see drivers take the roll cages off at all levels and go back to like the 1950s, 60s, 70s, somewhere in there, and see how many guys wadded up going into one on a green flag for the first start. Like, I don't think there wouldn't be as many crashes because you'd have to drive smarter. So I do think that that's where my opinion of like the heat wave cancellation falls in. It's just like, I feel like we're going a little soft. But again, my opinion, I'm a part of the one. It's fun. It's fun to disagree.
While we're talking about that, shout out to Adam Taylor for having the balls to be the one to say,
Yep. Yep. Well, yeah, wrong. I mean, he would have dominated anyways.
Right. I don't know if he's going to lose again this year.
Oh my goodness. You know what? When we get to the midseason of the Wisconsin wingless, we'll have to make a prediction on the second half. Adam Taylor's worst finish. Like we'll have to.
They're like calling him a rookie. He's not a rookie.
He is.
He is. It's his first time.
He is.
Yeah, technically. Yeah, technically in a sprint car.
Technically, first time in that car, but like.
So yeah, so like that's where like the whole thing of the rookies gets sticky. Like, if I jump into a lightning sprint, am I a rookie? Well, I'm a rookie in the lightning sprint aspect, but I'm not a true rookie. Like Colin Sivy is a true rookie.
Right. But if you look at the aspect of saying Adam Taylor is not a rookie, then Colin Sivy is not a rookie because he's been racing for how many years? I think it's based off class is how you should look at. Like, actually, there's a series that does it really well is IMCA. They have you could win Rookie of the Year 6 different times if you go the right way. Like it's clearly laid out, like it's tiered. Like it starts with your sport compacts, which is what they call the Bandits, and then it goes into hobby stocks. And from hobby stocks it goes sport mods to stock cars to modifieds to late models. And as long as you go along that tier path, you can win Rookie of the Year in every single one of those classes. But like if you it's weird that stock cars are above sport mods because sport mods are a completely different animal, and stock cars, like you would think, would be the next step up from a hobby stock. But stock cars are actually considered a higher division than sport mods. So like as long as you don't go like hobby stock car, sport mod, because that's what a lot of guys do. They'll go from a stock car to a sport mod to get into a regular modified at some point. But if you ran a full year of stock cars, then you go to a sport mod, you can't win Rookie of the Year in a sport mod.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that kind of is a little jumbled there than what I would assume would be the progression. Right. So yeah, right. Okay. All right. So that's our opinion on the heat wave cancellation. Comment below where you're listening to, whether it was a right or wrong decision. Of course, opinions, they're all right, they're all wrong. It's just yours. We'd love to hear them. So we're going to take an ad break real quick, and when we come back, we're going to be reviewing the Lightning Sprints, Mods, Street Stocks, and Bandits mid-season, because that sounds disgusting saying that in June, that they're already halfway through their Wilmot schedule. But we're going to be talking that on the other side. What up, Crane Gang? Just wanted to tell you a little bit about our partner, DirtX Industries. So we've teamed up with DirtX Industries for the upcoming season, and we can't wait to run their products. The best part is that all my loyal fans and followers can help our team by visiting www.dirtxind.us and subscribe, also giving you a chance to win great prizes as well, receiving discounts on parts and merchandise for only $5 or $10 a month, depending on which subscription you get. There are thousands of dollars in prizes monthly that anyone can win. So help our team and subscribe today. By the way, when you subscribe, type DCR in the coupon box, and this will assist our team and increase sponsorship throughout the year. So any help is greatly appreciated. The more subscriptions we get can generate help for our team up and down the road on a weekly basis. Anyone can subscribe with no limit on subscriptions, and they are starting the US subscriptions here in June. So right now is the best time to subscribe to DirtX Industries. Now back to the show. Welcome back to the Bench Racing Podcast. Now we are talking mid-season review for the Lightning Sprints, Mods, Street Stocks, and Bandits. I was planning on doing this in July, but then I looked and I'm like, well, when I was planning on doing it in July, these 4 classes are going to only have like 2 or 3 races left, and that's not mid-season. Like they're going to be almost done. So if you did not listen to the first episode back in January, we'll be doing a little review before we go into the mid-season so we can refresh. So we're going to start off with the lightning sprints. Who had, and I can't find my piece of paper now, which is annoying, 6 races, I believe, at Wilmot. So that doesn't, here it is, found it. Yeah, 6 races at Wilmot. So back in January, I had most fast times going to Jordan Funderburk. Michael had Mark Heinert, and Beth had Petska. Most heat race wins, I had Ethan Steer. That aged really well. Michael also had Mike New, and Beth had Brian Strain Jr.
Mike New also.
That's right.
Yeah.
That
one.
He's not running, is he?
Nope.
Oh man.
So Beth automatically wins that one.
This aged really well.
Wait, hold on. Who did Beth have?
Most features had New.
No heat races.
Heat races has Brian Strain Jr.
Has he won a heat race yet? What if Brian Strain won 0 heat races and we all end with 0?
Then we don't get any points for it.
Who did Brad Becker have? That's the real question.
Brad had Strain as well.
Oh no.
This is gonna be good. Most features, I had Mark Heinert, Michael had Nick Petska, and Beth had Mike New. The hard charger, I had Chad Stouthammer, Michael had Ryan Irwin, and Beth had a number of the hard charger is going to pass 42 cars. So she went in a different route. That's really good. Let's see if they can pass 42 cars. Most top 5s, I had Irwin, Michael had Petska, Beth had Heinert. The anchor, I had minus 52. Michael was the only one that had the balls to give a name, and that was Jordan Funderburk.
Sorry.
And Beth had minus 43. And then championship gap, I had 26, Michael had 21, and Beth had 28. For champion, I had Irwin, Michael had Petska, and Beth had New. So Beth's going to have a 0 there. And now where we are at. So currently, the most fast times is Nick Petska, and I should have my sheet up here already, but I don't because I'm very professional. Nick Petska has the most fast times, and I accidentally deleted it. Oh, well. All right. Yeah, this is going great. I know he's got quite a few. And then heat race wins is a tie. There's 6 different heat race winners. We have Chad Stouthammer, Derek Fortier, Tucker Richards, Brian Strain Jr., Mark Heinert, and Tim Branham. Features also tied with Tucker Richards, Brian Strain Jr., and Mark Heinert, all with 1. Hard charger is Chris Quillman, came out of nowhere. He's at plus 18 right now. The anchor is Tim Branham at minus 11. The most top 5s is Chad Stouthammer and Brian Strain Jr. with 3 each. And currently the points gap is 15, and the leader is Mark Heinert. And no one had Heinert as a champion besides Brad. So we are not cooking with the lightning sprints. So that's the review of the lightning sprints and not feeling good. So let's start off with the for the lightning sprints, the biggest surprise, good or bad. We'll start with Michael here.
Mine's good, and it's Tucker Richards. That kid is insane. For those that don't know, that car, and ironically, it's still number 13. That's CJ's old lightning sprint. And we sat in the stands, not this last weekend, obviously, the weekend before, and we were watching, and CJ had actually made a comment about how smooth, straight, and consistent he drives it. And he's like, and honestly, it looks a lot like how I looked in. He's like, that's how you had to drive that car. That's my biggest surprise. I didn't think he was going to come out and be as, honestly, I don't like to use this word very much, but dominant. I know he's not leading the points, but he also popped a motor 2 nights ago. So I think if he doesn't pop that motor, he probably makes up the 26 points he's behind, and he might be the points leader.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, to CJ's point, if it was wrapped the same as CJ's car and he was right, I would expect that to be CJ. Like his car control is really good, beyond his years because he is a teenager, right?
I think he's only 14.
Yeah, there you go, barely a teenager, and he's driving really good. My biggest surprise is also good. Chad Stouthammer. Right now, currently, he is 15 points behind Mark Heinert in second. 3 top 5s, 3 top 10s out of 3 features. No win at Wilmot. He's got a win traveling, but he has been my biggest good surprise. Beth, do you have any biggest surprises in the lightning sprints?
I mean, I do have a big surprise, but it's not like a good one. I was just really surprised that Jordan crashed. That was crazy.
Yeah. I didn't, for the first like really big ride.
Don't look at me like that. No, enough from you.
For the very first big ride in the lightning sprint, I'm surprised too that it was Jordan. I'm surprised too it was Jordan. I would not expect that from Jordan.
Yeah.
The rookies in the lightning sprints is Colin Sivia, and
Colin Sivia.
And Colin Sivia. We had a fun discussion off air of trying to get the rookies down per class, so that was fun. So yeah, Colin Sivia, you keep doing what you're doing. Beat Colin Sivia, and yeah, have fun there. Beth, who is your lightning sprint driver to watch for the second half of the season?
I'm going to say Colin Sivia. I think that he's going to make some big moves. His finish in Michigan was really impressive, so I think he's going to do something good.
Yes. Yep. Michael, who's your second or the driver to watch in the second half?
So up until their last race, I probably would have said Tucker Richards, because I think he's going to dominate the second half of the year. But ultimately, my one to watch is Jordan Funderburg. I know when I was young and still learning racing, I made mistakes, and I watched people get on Facebook and trash me for it, and all it did, it lit a huge fire into my ass. And I didn't have the equipment to go out, when I first started, I didn't have the equipment to go out and set the world on fire, but Jordan does, and I think he's gonna lay some wood here the second half of the year and really prove some of these one person mainly, prove them wrong, and hopefully they just look at it and be like, man, this kid's, I don't even know how old he is, but he's young and he made a simple mistake. Like, let it go. We've all been there.
Yeah. He talked to me after that ride, obviously how you're feeling, and he's like, I'm a little sore, but he went right into that chip on his shoulder, and I'm like, but he wasn't saying it where it was like almost self-exploding. It was like, oh, he's going to use this in the right way to come back with a vengeance. Jordan Funderburg's a really good one. Colin Sivia is also a really good shout, but I went with Tucker Richards. I think to Michael, what you said, I think he is about to dominate the second part of the season. And I mean, fun fact, there's only 6 races. They're halfway there at 3. He's going to have to dominate the rest of the season to make up those 26 points if nothing happens to Stouthammer or Heinert. Stouthammer is pretty good. He might make a mistake here or there, but the one that's not going to make a mistake is Heinert. He won't.
And I like Mark Heinert. I think he is extremely talented. I think Tucker Richards is just going to outdrive him. I'm making a bold prediction here. I'm going to say Tucker Richards sweeps the rest of the season.
Did you just think he wasn't going to?
No, he did.
Oh,
He said that he was, but he's watched Jordan Thunderberg because he's about to really, yeah.
oh.
I
Yeah, he
think
did.
Tucker Richards sweeps the rest of the year, and Jordan Funderburg doesn't finish outside the top 5 the rest of the season.
That's juicy. That's juicy. All right.
We're gonna fight.
We're gonna fight. Wow.
Yeah.
Can you give us context, please? Oh, you mean you and Jordan? You and Jordan? Okay.
No, me and Michael.
Oh, Michael.
Why?
Yeah.
Okay. Why? You guys
He's
are cool.
totally gonna finish within the top 5.
Beth, you should one up him and be like, Jordan's gonna not finish outside the top 3.
Okay. I don't know. I'll be quiet.
All right. While Beth's being quiet, I will update us now on the modifieds. So back in January, most heat race wins. I said Mueller. Michael had Mueller. Beth had Mueller. And hold up, our guest that was on January also said Mueller. Remember that. Most feature wins. This aged really well again. I said Kadrowski.
Wow.
Michael said Crowbridge, and Beth said again went with the number. The driver with the most feature wins of the season is going to have 3. Most passed cars. I had Mike Wittenberg. Michael had Conrad, who we voted was Rookie of the Year on the Benchies, which aged really well.
Yeah.
And Beth went with another number, 53. Cars passed is the driver that's going to have the most hard charger. Most top 5s, I went with Worth. Michael, I have 2 names here. I got Mueller and Crowbridge. And I think that you said that they're going to tie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So he has a 2-parter there. And Beth went with Mueller. The anchor, I went with Tubin. Michael went with Tubin. And Beth went with minus 24. Championship gap, I said 5. Michael said 10. And Beth said 29. And for champion, I have Crowbridge. And then Michael, Beth, and Brad all had Mueller. So now we're starting to cook a little bit, I feel like. Because, not with this part. Most heat race wins right now is Joel Siegert Sr. and Joel Crowbridge with 2 each. And we all had Mueller, so that didn't age well so far. Come on, Mueller. Features is a 3-way tie with Mueller, Siegert Sr., and Huenfeld, all with 1 feature win. Hard charger is Brandon Schmidt, plus 13. Shows up one night, and he has hard charger. Most top 5s is Mueller and Crowbridge with 3 each. Now, here's where we really started to cook. The anchor, we have Tubin. So, good job, Michael. We got this. But Beth said minus 24, and right now he's at minus 21. So, we're all cooking there. And currently, the points gap between first and second is 3 points with Mueller leading it. And if it ended right now, Brad would have had the championship gap, our guest, because he said 3 points was going to be the gap. So, who has been your biggest surprise in the modifieds? We'll go with Beth. Surprise?
Nick Mechanic? I don't think
That's street stock. That's street stock.
What are we talking about? Modifieds. Yes.
Modifieds.
I don't know. I didn't write anything down.
Okay. Biggest surprise. Beth doesn't like you guys. All right. Surprise. Oh man. Okay, Michael. Let's go to you.
Mine is Mike Wittenberg in a not so great way. He I'd say he used to be a weekly top 5 contender battling for wins. I think he's won a few races, and I know he's led a lot of laps, and correct me if I'm wrong. I don't even think he has a top 5 this year.
No, he does not.
Yeah, so he's my biggest surprise, and I mean Mike's a good guy, so hopefully he gets his ass in gear. But I mean, if he doesn't, oh well.
Wow, that's yeah. Yeah, because I had him down for most past cars, and currently he's like right there. He's got Brandon Schmidt has 13, Mike has 11, so he's not. I mean, 2 cars off, so he's still right there. It's just I think it's just his results aren't showing the speed that he has. Like last year, he had the results to show his speed. For my modified, biggest surprise is also good. It's Joe Huenfeld. Now I know he's not a rookie. He's actually currently right now he is leading the non-members championship in the modifieds. Yeah. He's from the south. I was gonna say he's from up north, but no, he's a fib. He has been mine just because I don't really remember seeing him all that much last year. He came out for I think the Fall Classic and won the Saturday. I think he won almost all of the races he was in at the Fall Classic last year, and then this year like just shows up and he's taking it to Mueller and Crowbridge and Siegert and Wittenberg, like all the fast guys in the modifieds. So he's been my biggest good surprise. Michael, who is the one to watch in the second half of the season?
Well, you brought him up, so I'll say he's my one to watch. Is Joe Huenfeld. But
Okay.
I do want to elaborate a little bit. Joe Huenfeld is a past Wilmot champion.
Oh, he is. Okay.
Yeah, he won it somewhere in the middle of the Simons years, like 2018, 2019-ish. And if I would have known, if I would have had insight that told me that he was going to run Wilmot again this year, he'd have swept my board for all my modified predictions. I'd have picked him for everything.
Okay.
Joe Huenfeld's a badass. I loved watching him race back when he ran full-time Wilmot and won the championship. And I mean, he came back now and he hasn't lost a beat. I mean, he kicked their ass at the Fall Classic last year. And I mean, if he was a member, I think he'd have the regular points lead, but you're right. He is leading the IMCA points and the non-member points, which essentially are kind of the same thing. But yeah, I mean, Joe Huenfeld is the one to watch. He's another one of those guys that I'm not going to say he's going to, but he could sweep the rest of the season.
Yeah. He's only shown up twice out of 3 events, and he's got 2 top 5s, 2 top 10s, and a feature win. And he's also passed 12 cars. So he is a bad mofo. I will even say, knowing that even though he's a past champion, I'd still say he's still my biggest good surprise. For me, in the modifieds, the one to watch is Joel Crowbridge, the defending champion. He's only 3 points out of the points lead and no win, but 3 top 5s, 3 top 10s, 3 finishes. So he's right there. And the one thing that he's very Tim Cox-esque, I feel like, with his driving style.
Yes.
Like, he's not hanging it over his shoulder, driving it in, beating off the cushion. He's just rolling the corner, doing his own thing. And you're like, how is he third, second? How is he running that good out of nowhere? It just feels like he just sneaks in there in the closing laps. So Joel Crowbridge is my one to watch in the second half. And then Beth, I know you didn't have anyone for biggest surprise. You got anyone to watch?
No, but I think
No? Okay.
I did put something out for surprise actually.
Oh, okay.
They didn't crash as much as I thought they were going to.
There you go. That must suck. You were like, oh, okay, the modifieds are out there. Good. Yeah, I'm gonna get to see a lot of crashing, and it's not.
It makes it easier for staging though.
Mm-hmm.
It's not as bad.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, finally, we don't have to wait 10 years.
I mean, hot take here, but do you think that's because Wilmot's been drier this year than in previous years? So the track's not
Tell
hammered
me
down, but you got
about
to throw it in.
I don't
You
know.
think that's why?
And I also think that they don't have that much of a track to work with. So how can you?
I'm gonna make a hot take here. I think the reason we don't crash as much, and it's not Nick and Mike, but I think the reason we don't crash as much is because when Nick and Mike got removed from Wilmot, some drivers who were tighter with them also left, and usually those were the problem causers. So
Okay.
I'm going to make a hot take here and say, for the sake of modified racing, with minus getting to watch Nick and Mike battle through the field because they always put on a show, for the sake of modified racing, the removal of them was a good thing.
Yes. Okay.
Absolutely nothing against Nick and Mike. I want to make that. I don't know if anybody from their group listens, but it's absolutely nothing against them. It is some of the people that were part of their group that also raced.
Yes. And even if you want to blame the Simons, the one thing that you cannot blame them is for a bad track. Like Nick, it's not every day where the World of Outlaws will request a driver to do the track.
Pretty please.
Yes. And he's doing some other tracks here in Wisconsin, and they've been bad mofo cushions and really good. Just really good.
I do just want to say if we can get a track like the Hell Tour late models had the rest of the year, oh boy, are we in for a treat, because so when the Summer Nationals showed up last Monday morning, they asked whoever, they were like, how you doing the track tonight? And they said, slick from top to bottom like you like it. He goes, hell no. We want to slick through the middle with a foot tall cushion. He said, Chris Krumko said, you got it. And they got it. That cushion was insane, and it was a badass track.
And a car flipped on it.
Yeah.
So that's how you know it was bad fast.
Yeah.
If a car hits it, a late model of all things too, hits it, and like those are the cushions I love, because you can't just throw it in there and be dumb. You kind of actually have to think about it, and I love tracks like that.
Where's that cushion when the sprint cars are there?
It's up there.
Oh yeah.
Zachy Poo showed it. Just because it ain't a foot tall don't mean it's up there.
You got to have the balls to run the cush.
And just because it's the top doesn't mean you drive it the same. And I think that's where a lot of drivers get that misconception that Wilmot doesn't have a top. Basically, if there's a curb, you back it in there on entry. If there's no curb on entry, don't back it in there. You kind of have to drive it more straighter, and as you get through the corner, pitch it. And wow. So that was really good. Those are some good hot takes there. All right. Now we're going into the street stocks. So refresher. Man, I'm doing my stuff is aging like milk, not like wine. I swear. Most heat race wins. I went with Dirty D, Dustin Holland. Michael went with Robbie Olson, and Beth also went with Dustin Holland. Most feature wins, I had Josh Gehrig. We have another tie here with Michael saying Murtis and Gehrig, 4 each, which would mean that there's only one other winner. So let's see here. And Beth went with Cody Potter. Love to see Cody Potter back out.
He doesn't even race the street stock anymore.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, well, we're aging like milk here. Most past cars, hard charger, I went with Dirty D. Michael went with Rob Olson, and Beth said plus 27. Most top fives, I went with Newberry. He hasn't been out there. Brandon Murtis for Michael, and Beth went with Dustin Holland for most top fives. The anchor, I said Tim Kalenka. Michael said Hildendorf, and Beth said minus 25. And championship points gap between first and second, I said 12. Michael said 9. And Beth said, nope, there's going to be a can of whoop butt there with 31. And I put a bold prediction here that Dustin wins the championship with no feature. Well, ain't going to work because he hasn't been out there for the first half. So nice. Oh, all right. Championship. 3-way for Dirty D, Dustin Holland, between me, Brad, and Beth. And Michael said Brandon Murtis.
Shout out.
Yep. So the first half, we for most heat race wins right now is tied between Robbie Olson and Josh Gehrig with 2 each. Fast times is a 4-way tie. No, feature wins. Duh. What am I saying? Let me go to street stocks here. There we go. So your feature winners so far: Rob Olson, Blake Cruiser, Josh Gehrig, and Brandon Murtis, all with 1. So, yep. And then, sorry, Hard Charger had a brain fart there. Hard Charger is currently going into Michael's favor right now with Rob Olson plus 18.
It's in the last name.
What's up? Oh, it's just the last name.
It's the last name.
Spelled the same, right?
No, different.
Oh yeah, you're E. You're E.
Yeah.
He's O.
I spelled it the right way.
You spelled it the right way. No one's perfect, right, Michael? Now here, so this is where my good surprise. I'm kind of having a hard time here, but the driver with the most top 5s right now is Mark Baker with 4 for 4. The anchor is Nick Metchnik, the 81 car. Let's just say that. Nick at minus 14. The gap currently right now is 2 points, and your leader is Josh Gehrig over Brandon Murtis. I'll start with the biggest surprise for the street stocks. I'm just saying, just in general, the street stocks are the biggest good surprise right now. The racing is amazing. They are having some controversy come into the checker, one race in particular, which is always great banter. 6 points separate the top 3, but only 15 points separate the top 6. So really tight battles in the championship. The racing's good, and that is my biggest surprise. Beth, I know you have this one. You said the name earlier.
Nick. I'm not gonna pronounce the last name.
No, try. You made fun of us.
Mechnik.
Metchnik. Just say it different every time. We'll be good. We'll hit it one time, right?
Yeah.
All right. Biggest surprise, Mechnik. Why?
Well, I don't know if I count it properly, but how many races have Street Stocks had this year?
3.
Okay, so it's weird because you guys said he was the anchor, right?
The anchor, yes.
Okay, so that's weird because he's
had top.
my
He's
notes
finished,
are messed up.
yeah, no, he's finished top 10, and I made a mistake here because there's 4 races or 3 races, not 4. I must have calculated that wrong. So,
Yeah, well,
4 total races, 3 points races.
that's what it is. Yes. Okay. And I was going off of the actual results instead of the points. Okay. Yes. No, I know what you're saying, Beth.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that he's got all top 10s, but he's the anchor. He has been starting in the front, which is great. It's probably why the car looks so clean a lot too. It's not getting a lot of clay. But I mean,
it's hard to have a dirty car at Wilmot now.
Oh, you can still get it dirty. Man, you're just hating on Wilmot tonight, man. All right.
Very bad.
Michael, who is your biggest surprise?
My biggest surprise is Tristan Peyron. I know with the way the lineups work, it goes by point average, and the lower point averages start up front. So he gets started up front quite a bit, but he fires off really well. If he just calmed down and slow down a little bit, he might be able to contend for a feature win. But I think he starts driving it too hard, and he gets himself into some not so sentimental positions, whether
Hmm.
it's with the track itself or with other cars. But yeah, I would say he's probably my biggest surprise. I think everything else going on in the class is kind of expected. You know, Blake shows up, kicks everybody's ass. Brandon, Josh, and one of the Olsons having feature wins. I think that's pretty much expected. So yeah, I'm gonna give my biggest surprise to Tristan Payron.
Okay, nice, nice. Um, and then let's start with Beth. Who to watch in the second half of the street stock season?
Hold on, I'm just gonna make a quick little pick. I'm gonna say Mark Baker. I think. I don't know.
Nice. Okay. Well, I'll go next because ditto. I said Mark Baker. I think he's won a feature in the street stocks, right? He's had to.
Yeah,
been around
he's a
forever.
champion. He's a champion.
Okay. Yeah, I'm still going with Mark Baker. I think he could potentially here get another win or two. Especially if Gehrig and Murders keep driving like racing each other extremely hard. I think at that point it's just you gotta be right place, right time. And he's doing it with the striking rate. With the top fives. Michael, who's your one to watch in the second half for street stocks?
I got two. I got a good one. I got a bad one.
Ooh,
Uh,
let's go.
I'll start with the good one, and it's Brandon Murdis.
Okay.
He the results don't show it because he ended up breaking, but the night of the Hell Tour, he had to start in the back because he didn't finish the heat race, and I watched him jump to the top of the track, and he passed 6 cars in the first corner. Then a caution came out and wiped it out. They got that car working, and it's going to be a dogfight between him and Gehrig, and maybe even Baker. But I think Brandon Murdis is the positive one to watch in the second half. My negative one is Caleb Castillo. Slow down, man. Please slow down. Like, no, I mean, not to badmouth the guy. I know he's technically a rookie, but dude, you are wrecking race cars every single week. For the love of all things holy, slow the F down.
Yeah, I wonder if he's taking his friend's words too literal, like because like anytime some like a friend's like, yeah, brakes for the pits, and they're like, oh yeah, funny, but if you actually do it, it's not funny.
Right.
It's actually not funny. Actually, it's funny because his name came up at church yesterday. Someone at church was just like, yeah, my buddy races at Wilmot. He's like, I can't remember if it's modifieds or street stock. So I was like, what's the name? And he says Castillo. And I was like, Caleb. And he goes, you know him? I'm like, well, I don't know him, but we talk about him sometimes on the podcast. And he's like, yeah, he wrecked. And so, yeah.
Surprising.
I would have looked at the guy and be like, which week?
Which week? I mean, every time we run, the street stocks are the ones that follow. So I always miss like the first half. Always miss the first half, especially if we hit tech. Then I mean, by the time we get back to the trailer, the street stocks are pulling in for their race. So, would love to start getting some more street stocks, watching street stock features. All right, and then the rookies. We didn't really have any before, but in this class we have McKnight, Perrin, and Castillo. And Dale Elider, but he hit the wall pretty hard.
A ton.
Yeah, I missed it, and yeah, he just hit the wall going into 3, right?
Well, Caleb Castillo caused it.
Oh man!
And he didn't just hit the wall; he moved the wall. He tried to go through it. I mean, it was
Okay.
like that might have been the hardest hit I've ever seen happen at Wilmot. Going back to like, and I know Beth won't remember this, and if she did, she probably wasn't even watching because it was a Bandit. But Derek, you might. Jordan Paulson started in a Bandit,
Yes,
and he busted down the backstretch wall
in the
that car.
center too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember
like,
that.
Going back to that, I'd say that and this Dale Elighter one might have been two of the hardest fender car
Yeah.
hits that I have ever seen at that track.
We were messing around with the ignition, but like I do remember the red and all of that, and then I'm like, because it gets quiet on the track and it just sounds weird in the middle of the night, but then as it goes on, you're like, something else is up, and you look and the car came back on the wrecker. And I mean, the whole front is just pushed in, and I'm like, yeah, that's not normal on a street stock.
Oh,
So
so that's what happened.
mhm.
I just remember seeing it go by.
Yeah, he tried to outdo Iron Steer that section of track in turn 3.
I'd say he did
How
because
hard it
Ion hasn't moved the wall yet, and Dale did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Won't say that.
Oh man. Yeah. When you race a sprint car, it's just a matter. The longer you do it, the more likely you are to do a pretty good flip and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
a part of it.
Well-
you just gotta be ready for it.
On to the part where you said you don't usually watch the street stocks feature,
Mhm.
the right after you. I heard about a really good phone mount that you could use.
Oh, yeah, saucy. Yeah, back to a few episodes ago when we were talking about someone on Facebook. Oh, yeah, we're not gonna condone texting and driving.
Whoa. Oh no.
Oh, all right, and then the main attraction, the reason why Beth goes to the track, reviewing the Bandit predictions from January. So, and I should say here, the modified or the street stocks are just slightly before halfway, but we're just gonna throw them in here. But I just wanted to make sure I didn't forget about them because I would have forgotten about them, just like I forget to go watch them. So, all right, Bandits. So from January, we got some names here. Some of these are going to age really well. Some of them won't. So we have here, get everything ready. Most heat race wins. I said Tiny Horse. Michael said Rick Zifko. And Beth said Andrews. So Zifko and Andrews haven't shown up yet. So that aged really well. Most feature wins. I said McKellips, David McKellips. Michael said Tiny Horse. And Beth said Tiny Horse. Most past cars. Oh man, I'm looking at this and I'm like, I'm cooking, but it's the wrong car in the team. I said Austin Orth. Michael said Rick Zifko. And Beth said plus 33, which is actually a pretty good guess from where we're at right now. Most top right now, Hard Charger's 18. So if it's halfway, 18 plus 18 is 36. You said 30. It's right there. Most top fives, I said Orth. Michael said Tiny Horse, and Beth said Orth. Most lost spots, I said Jackson. Yes, William Jackson. Michael said Ranker, and Beth needs to grow a pair of balls and say a name because she said minus 15. I'm noticing a trend, Beth. Championship gap.
I get yelled at.
It's all right. You get older and you're like, you know what? Whatever. Don't care. It's my opinion.
I want to stay in my youth for a little bit.
Okay, good idea. Championship gap. I said 10 points. Michael said 2 points. And Beth said, hold my beer, 42 points.
Hold on, can I just say something?
Yes.
I'm gonna say it anyways.
I didn't say no.
I know. I'm just gonna say that. My brother helped me with like the championship gap things. He like did a bunch of like math with old results and stuff. So,
okay. Well, there was that one year with the Bandits that it was like what, over 100 and something points. It was yeah. So I guess if you're gonna use an average, that's a pretty good average. Champion, I said David McKellips. Michael said David McKellips, and Beth said Tiny Horse. Now, currently, most heat race wins is to David McKellips with 3. Features, all 1 each. Austin Orth, David McKellips, and Craig Cruiser. Hard Charger, Jennifer Rooney plus 18. Most top fives, David McKellips with 3. Anchor is Kerry Wilms at -20. Currently, the gap is 24 points. The points leader is David McKellips over Kevin Chasen. So
he's chasing.
he be chasing. So let's start with Michael here. Who is your biggest surprise in the Bandits?
Tiny Horse, Ryan Johnson.
Okay.
I mean, he's not in the points. You can't use his points to base it off of. But come on, man, get that damn thing in victory lane.
Yep. He's got 1 heat race win, 2 top 5s, 3 top 10s. I know that top 10 he had was actually a miracle because the thing wasn't running right, but he still was able to get it in the top 10. And right now he's at +12 with no minus spots. So he's one of very few that actually have 0 in the minus. Beth, who's your biggest surprise in the Bandits?
As Michael said, Tiny Horse. I don't know.
Surprised he hasn't won yet?
Yeah, I'm really surprised. I mean, from what I remember from the few I've watched, that he won a lot and was really good. So I don't know. I'm sure he'll make it. I'm sure he'll make a really good.
Just a matter of time. Yeah, just a matter of time. My biggest surprise is Kevin Chasen in the Bandits. Where the heck did you come from, man?
I like him, man. I like Kevin Chasen.
You were the one that put him on the map, Michael. When you went with your bet with Kevin Chasen, I'm like, okay, I need to look at this dude because I don't know. I know the car number, but I don't know what it looks like. I don't know how he drives. I vaguely remember him last year racing, but holy crap! I just noticed he's 24 points out, but he's only got two features, where McKellips has 3.
I'm looking at the same thing. I was like, there's no way. But I mean, the internet don't lie, right?
Yeah. Man, okay, Kevin. You be chasing, but at the end, let them be chasing. Yeah, he's just I think he'll get a feature win for sure this year. Let's go to Michael. Who is the one to watch in the second half for the Bandits?
Kevin Chasen. He's chasing them dubs, and he's gonna get them.
Yeah, he is.
Especially so. Like, my favorite part about him is he always seems to start up front or in front of McKellips and Cruiser and Johnson and Orth, the guys that are gonna get through the field and get to the front. He gets to the lead. And he drives that thing so conservatively. Like, he goes in the course, he's like hard on the brakes. The car doesn't kick sideways. And then like he gets past and he just turns that thing up. And like he drives the absolute piss out of it. So it's like the moment that it turns into, hey, I got the lead, I'm driving the piss out of this thing, he's not getting caught. And I mean, he's gonna win some races.
Yes, his last name goes with his driving style. He's better as a chaser than a leader.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. What's that?
Really,
it's like
these jokes.
Yeah, it's really like Bryce Andrews. Like when that switches off to like, I'm not going to get past. I rather lose it myself than get snickered on a restart. Yeah, that's 100%. Ooh, man. And I'm glad I'm in Racine because that's my homeboy now. Just saw that Racine, Wisconsin. Let's go. Not in my neck. I would know if I heard a race car start up in the neighborhood. So he must be on the north side. Beth, who is your one to watch in the second half?
I'm gonna say Austin Orth. I think some cool stuff's gonna happen.
Good shout. Because again, ditto. I got Austin Orth. He got his first one. He's going to be hungry here for second and third. I think he could potentially get another. I think he could get 2. I think he could get another 2 features this year for sure. And start being a winning machine for Tiny Horse Racing with his brother Ryan, Tiny Horse Johnson. And Austin Orth is also leading the non-member points. Let's go. That award's gonna be great at the benchies. And then I don't see a lot of rookies in the Bandits either. So you just keep plugging along, guys. So that is the midseason review for the Lightning Sprints, Street Stocks, Modifieds, and Bandits. Comment below if you think we're right, if we're wrong. Who you think the person to watch for in the second half of the season in the respective classes. And when the Wing 604s and the Wingless hit halfway, we'll be doing the same thing with those two classes. So I'm really excited to be doing that as well. But now we're going to take a break. And when we come on the other side, we will be talking our bets and what's going on this weekend at Wilmot Raceway. When the shop nights get long after a great result, or even a tough night at the track, or even like right now during this episode, nothing hits the spot like a cold Sprecher root beer. But it doesn't stop there. Sprecher's lineup goes way beyond the classic. My personal favorites are the Door County Cherry Soda and the Honeycrisp Apple Soda. And there's still more amazing flavors I haven't even tried yet. Sprecher's Root Beer has been crafting award-winning soda and beer since 1985, right here in Glendale, Wisconsin. Stop in for a brewery tour, sample the goods, experience the local flavors. And don't forget, November 17th, we're back in the Sprecher Tap Room for our second annual Benchies Award Night. It's a perfect excuse to check them out. Now that this ad is wrapping up, I have cracked open another Sprecher soda, and I'm ready to talk more racing with you. All right, welcome back to the Bench Racing Podcast. It's bet time. Last week was canceled because of the heat wave, which we had street stocks. So we are keeping the street stock bets, but we're going to add the lightning sprints. We like to share the love here. And I got it so every class we're making 3 bets on it throughout the season. And I didn't want to push the street stocks out and B- or B-1 from everyone. So to remind everyone who we have, Beth went with Josh Gehrig. Michael went with Brandon Murtis, and I went with Robbie Olson for the street stocks. And now it is time to make our bets for the lightning sprints on June 28th. So, Beth, who is your bet for the lightning sprints?
No brainer, Jordan Funderburg.
Funderburg. One of these times, he's going to bring the thunder, and he's going to whip some.
You should have seen him at Sycamore.
I know, but that's a fib track. I don't really watch fib tracks all that much. I'm sorry. Michael, who's your bet for the lightning sprints?
No brainer, Tucker Richards.
Oh man, and I'm just gonna go. I don't even need to look at it. You guys are picking really good names. Petska, Heiner, like obviously legends in the lightning sprints, but I'm gonna go with Stouthammer. We're just gonna really get this thing juicy, spicy. We're gonna be cooking here. So comment below who your bet is for the lightning sprints June 28th at Wilmot Raceway. We have general admission is $17, which is 13 plus. Kids 12 and under are free. Pit passes are $30. And the classes are going to be lightning sprints, Wisconsin wingless, street stocks, and the winged crate sprints. Pits open at 3, gates open at 5, hot laps at 5:45, and racing at 6:45. I'm sure you both are going to be there this weekend racing.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Nice. Unfortunately, Ashley has fortunate that Ashley has a wedding to shoot, but unfortunately that I'm not going to make it to Wilmot because I will have Landon, and the first time I bring him to the track, I hope that Ashley could be there to really just help go through the night smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm going to have to be living vicariously through you guys. Please send videos of crazy stuff that's going on. Love to see it. Just like that rodeo that I sent you guys. If that happened, I would be 100% down. I'd be going to the rodeo. All right. All right. Wow. Okay, perfect. At 1 hour exactly. We're getting better at this.
Are
I
we?
didn't mind going late last time because Jeopardy was so much fun. That was so much fun. But tonight, as I drop my pen, it's been a while since
Oh.
I've done that. Yo.
So at Plymouth, Colin Sivia came up to me and he was like, "You really suck at Jeopardy." I was like, "Oh."
Yes, I love it. I love it. Oh man. Do we? Ooh. Yeah, because I got to start promoting this. The Hold My Beer in downtown Kenosha live audience show August 4th. We were talking about having a guest on. Maybe we should have Colin on, and then Michael can do Jeopardy, and then it's Colin Sivia versus Beth.
Don't do that. No.
Oh, that. The problem is Colin's like a freaking magnet when it comes to racing knowledge too.
Yeah.
But the difference is Colin's also young. So if we bring it back a couple years, it might get really interesting.
Yeah, like 20 well, even for Beth too, but like even if you did some 2016, 2017, even if you just kept it in the wingless, I'm sure that'd be pretty good. I'd buy tickets for that. I'd buy tickets to watch that. But tonight's game is Highside or Lowside. So we have 6 questions here. All the answers are numerical. We're going to start with Michael. So Michael will have the opportunity to pick 1 through 6. I'll ask the question. If he gets it right, he gets 2 points. If he gets it wrong, Beth will steal. And all she's got to say is the correct answer is higher or lower than the number that Michael guessed. If she gets it right, she gets 1 point. But if she gets it wrong, Michael gets the point. And then it'll be Beth's turn as she drops something in the background. All right. All right. So, Michael, 1 through 6.
5.
5. All righty. What is the smallest points gap between first and second in all of the Wilmot classes this year?
2.
All right, right on 2, and that is Street Stocks with Gehrig and Murtis. Beth, don't take 5.
2.
2. All righty. Now this was off of last week's game with Jeopardy. I was like, this would be good because it was a question down there. How many championships have been won by drivers who didn't win a feature in that year?
Dating back to when?
And this is from 2020 to 2024.
Because I would know that.
Well, you should. You played Jeopardy last week. It was one of Michael's questions.
Oh my God. I didn't say I remembered everything.
I forgot if Michael said if it was the last driver, but there was something with it. Yeah. Or it was like the wingless champion or something. I remember it was something that I was like, okay. All right. So how many championships have been won by a driver who didn't win a feature in that season?
I know 1 for sure.
Okay.
But there has to be more. I don't want to get this wrong. I'm going to say like 3.
You know what? You need to just throw a number out there.
It's 1.
Because that was right. No, I'm going to give you that. That was right. It's 3. 3. Wow. Courtney Atkinson in 2020 in the Street Stocks, John Cole in 2020 in the Bandits, and Chris Klumpko in 2024 in the Wingless.
I heard her say 3, and I almost started crying because I knew it was 3.
Yeah.
And I knew who they were too.
Oh man. This is the battle of the brains here. All right, Michael. 1, 3, 4, 6.
Let's do it for Dale.
For Dale, we're going number 3. All right. In 2025, how many different winners are there in the 6 Wilmot classes, which is Lightning Sprints, Modified Street Stocks, Wingless Bandits, and Wing 604? And I'm going to play this safe and say that, or no, I did. Okay. Yeah, no, it's up to date. I remember changing it.
410s were included or no?
No 410s.
I'm gonna say 14.
That is wrong.
Uh-oh.
Beth for the steal. Is the answer higher or lower than 14?
Hold on, I didn't listen to the question, so can you say it again?
In 2025, how many different winners are there? And this is the 6 Wilmot classes. So this
Okay.
includes the Lightning Sprints,
I
Mods,
have
Street
this.
Stocks. No
I-
410s.
I got this.
Is it just higher or lower than 14?
It's higher.
Higher. Okay. Beth with the steal. She got it. It is 17 different winners this year. Now we're over to Beth.
Oh.
1-4-6. Scoring this game is a nightmare. Let me just tell you that. 1. Okay.
I can tell you it's 3-2. Beth's leading.
Yes. I know it's 3-2, but like where I have it, just so I know where I score everything. And okay. All right, Beth, number 1.
No.
Don't jump the cushion yet.
Yeah.
Like we're only halfway through the game.
No, we're not halfway through. We're gonna end early.
Yeah. Okay. You're gonna end. Okay. From 2020
Oh,
to
shit.
current date, how many different feature winners are there?
This is bullshit.
If you get this, Beth, I will be like, I think Michael, because he made the game last week, I think he could get a really good ballpark. So if you threw a really good number out there and made him second guess, like it's
I'm
so
gonna say,
close.
like, okay. I'm gonna say like 100 because it's a good in between number.
Ooh, no.
Oh,
She
no.
she did it though. She threw out a number
She-
that makes me question.
Yeah.
I was hoping she was gonna say like 36. I was gonna be like,
Yeah,
it was 34
36.
last year.
Yeah, 22. Like, oh yeah. So Michael, is it higher than 100?
So there was 34 last year
How do you know this off the top of your head?
because I just said it in Jeopardy last week.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoops.
And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 6 seasons.
Yeah.
So if you average, but that one year in the wingless class, there was like 11 different winners or something like that. So if you
I think
average,
that was actually last year.
It was.
Maybe it was
year,
last
like
year.
9. Yeah, I think 9 at Wilmot. It was a crazy year for, because usually when you hear those stats, it's the Wisconsin wingless traveling season of all the different winners.
but even if you drop it down and you say, oh, but the wing crate sprints, the 604s weren't there every
Okay,
year.
don't bring stats to this. Just guess.
If you,
Higher or lower than 100?
I'm just gonna say if you break down and say there's
Oh my
25 different winners a year, it comes out to
Mhm.
150. So I'm gonna say higher.
Wrong. Beth
Oh.
gets the point.
Oh.
65
Since 2020,
since 2020, and it's because
I'm calling BS on that.
and it's because freaking Carlson, Mullen.
Oh yeah.
Like, you got to remember, those guys won so much that they, like, there was a season where the Simons brothers and Carlson were like the only 3 cars to win. It's like, well, there's only 3 for a whole year.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Great.
Okay.
I
All
love this
right.
game.
It can't end like this.
All right.
Hang on.
4 for Beth, 2 for Michael. And now we know what it is. It's a superstition. Beth just has to go second. She can't go first. Michael, 4 or 6?
I'm gonna say 4 because that's my points I'm gonna have after this question.
Oh
No, it isn't.
All right. Michael with number 4 here. What is the largest points gap between first and second in all the Wilmot classes in 2025?
It is 20, 24.
Ooh, 2 points for Michael.
No.
Tied up.
No.
It's tied up. It is 24, and it's the Bandits between McKellips and Chasen. All right, so now that Michael actually had the two questions real quickly, before you jumped on, Michael, I told Beth, I'm like, for the game, you're really going to want to just remember stuff that we talk about predictions, because there might be a question or two in there about it. And Michael takes both of them from her. All right. Beth, would you like 6 or 6?
I think just to be safe, I'm gonna go 6.
Going to go with 6. Good. Yep.
Don't choke.
Oh, man. Okay. If you need clarification, please ask, okay?
Oh, for sure.
How many non-racing events are scheduled at Wilmot Raceway in 2025? And we're counting, if it's like a 3-day event, we're counting each day as one.
Okay.
Ooh, do.
Okay, hold on. I'm thinking. So there's the rodeo, there's the tractor pulls, there's derby, right? I'm gonna say 8.
Someone's gonna win this by 1 point.
Can I say 7 instead?
Wrong. Michael, higher or lower than, what was your answer? 8? 8.
Okay, so she didn't go for the clarification, but can I get it?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, so for the fair, are the polls each night and the demo derby on Sunday one or all the same?
Well, like I said,
He
if
just
it's a
clarified
3-day, if it's a 3-day event, we're counting 1, 2, 3.
Oh, so every day it's its own.
Every day, yeah, not the event, but the day of.
And it's so much higher because there's 3 days of that festival. There's 4 days of the fair. There's the rodeo. There's if you're counting practice as non-racing events, there's 2.
No, not practice, not practice. No practices, no practice days.
So it's
so anything that doesn't have to do with the typical Wilmot race cars.
Okay, so there's 2 nights of polls, the demo derby, 3 nights of the festival, the rodeo.
Just say higher. Say higher.
It's higher, and I'm gonna say 9.
And if Michael would have had it and he said 9, it would have been a 2-pointer. Beth, you were so close with 8. Michael wins it 5-4
games.
So the 9 days are the monster trucks. The monster truck June 1st, June 7th the tractor pull and combine derby, June 22nd the rodeo, then Das Fest, which is July 18th, 19th, 20th, the fair tractor pull and combine derby on the 14th, the NTPA pull on August 15th, and then the demo derby on the 17th. So 9. Scary part is that those are all on race weekends. Well, except for the fair. But don't like that because that's taken away from race days. But man, Beth, you are getting it. You're getting it, girl. I remember when we first started and Michael would just, 7-1. Blow you out of the water.
She had easy questions tonight.
Shut up.
Oh man, wow. Well, that is the show tonight, and what a great way to end the weekend of super hot weather with some hot takes and some hot predictions here. But yeah, so just real quickly though, with the Tuesday show at Wilmot, we're not going to be recording a podcast either Sunday or Monday. So we are going to be doing it later in the week. So the next podcast after this will be dropping a little bit later, but we didn't forget. We still have a lot of racing to talk with you. And we're looking forward to it. So thanks for tuning in, and we look forward to talking more racing with you next week. Until then, peace out, Girl Scout.
Peace.
I'm waiting, Beth.
Oh, peace out. Oh no!
It's the ultimate ride. it's the only night.